Are you thinking about whether you should be a stay-at-home mom or to continue working? If so, this week's episode is for you. This topic is a question that comes up regularly in my coaching with clients. Should I stay at home and become a mom? Am I missing out on their childhood? Or should I continue working? I actually prefer to work. I'm such a bad mother. There can be so much shame and so much judgment about how we quote unquote should be when it comes to raising a family and having a career for ourselves. And the first most important step in this decision is to drop the judgment. I think that we can be very judgmental on others and their decisions and also on ourselves. And that judgment stops us from really clearly dropping into our heart and getting clear on what it is that we really, really desire. Now, obviously, not everybody can have the option and the choice to become a stay-at-home mom. It's quite a privilege to be able to do that. And yet, with that privilege, there can be so much shame and judgment for these women thinking, oh gosh, I should be working, I should do more. And there can be a lot of stigma around making that choice. And I don't think that's a healthy thing. I think the most important thing is you drop the judgment, and two, you honor yourself and what feels right for you at this time, right? For some women that I coach, they come to me and they say, I think I want to be a stay-at-home mom and just get out of this corporate rat race. And when we dig a little deeper, we realize that that's not actually at the heart of the issue. It's actually the fact that they do enjoy working and that the career is going quite hard and it's a way to get out and an escape hatch that isn't necessarily what they're going to be most proud of when they look back on that decision. For other women I coach, they really are just having a job so that they can prove to others that they're smart, they're intelligent, and they can also think on their feet and have a career and that they're more than just a mum. And that really is very sad because I think when you make choices based on what other people think and how other people are judging you, that's a very slippery slope where the doubt creeps in, the lack of confidence creeps in, and this constant, am I doing this right, sets in. And this whole concept of being just a mum is something that's got to stop. You know, whether or not you're a mum listening to this or you're thinking about becoming a mother, being a mum is such an incredible gift. It's not an easy job. It is freaking hard. And I would argue requires so much more energy, patience, tolerance, and effort than it does to work in a corporate environment because you can't necessarily fly off the handle. You're not dealing with rational beings yet, and they're soaking up everything that you're telling them. And with that comes quite a bit of responsibility, not to make it like a big deal, but there is a responsibility that we have to our children. And I love this quote, I'll read it to you. That the I Ching says that if the family unit is healthy, then society is healthy. And when the family falls apart, society falls apart. And I think that is so beautiful. We, in our striving and our achieving and our wanting to get to the C-suite and get on the board, we've kind of forgotten that, actually we've got to include our family and our communities along the way because that's what makes a community strong. That's what makes a society strong. And it's not just about the achievement, it's really about how we're including others in the journey. So if you're thinking about, do I want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do I want to stay working in my corporate career? The first thing you can do is drop the judgment. Step into your heart and what your true heart's desire is and honor that. It's really that simple. And I think the more women can actually honor their choices and stand proud by them, and the more we can support and encourage women to say, yes, that's awesome, you're doing it your way, the better everything will be. And the more we will be teaching our children that we've got to make the right choices that are considered, that are right by us, and that when we do so with integrity, because it's not about what we say, it's actually about what we do. So for all the mothers listening, I truly honor the work that you're doing with your kids. It's so important. And if you've made that decision to be a stay-at-home mom, I have so much admiration and respect. It's not easy, and it's one of the most important jobs in the world. For those corporate women who want to stay in corporate and don't necessarily want to stay at home and be with the kids. If you've got, whether or not you have this choice or you don't, I honor you too. Having to balance the two isn't easy and is a constant juggling act. And with that comes pressure. And I really see you, I acknowledge you, and I honor you. You're a fantastic role model to your kids. And if you haven't got kids yet and you're listening, listen to this and have this be some food for thought, because I know that somewhere in the back of your mind, it's probably something that you're thinking about in the future. And when you can honor what feels right for you, that's where you're going to get your answers. And I will say this again, as I always say, there are different seasons in life. You can make a choice for a certain season, and then you can make another choice in another season. Our kids go through phases, and that's perfectly normal. So do we. So your choice is not a forever choice. So I would love to hear from you. What are you grappling with when it comes to motherhood and career? What are your challenges? I would love to hear in the comments below. In the meantime, have a beautiful week.